So let's say you work in a professional setting, office settings, climate-controlled environments essentially, not just particularly office settings. You want something that smells clean, smells professional, a little on the masculine side. Whether you're wearing a sports jacket, as I am, a full-blown suit and tie, or just a nice button-down Oxford. In this video, I've got 10 of my personal favorites that I want to talk to you about. Stay tuned. Now these are in no order whatsoever because this definitely wouldn't be number 10 if it was ranked, and it's actually my scent of the day and what sparked this video idea. Go ahead and throw a few more sprays on. Of course, as you could tell by the bottle, I'm talking about Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme. Still one of my absolute personal favorite fragrances, especially when it comes to being a little bit more on the dressier side with my attire. This one screams blazer, sports jacket, suit and tie, Oxford. It's a bona fide signature scent for a grown man. Absolutely, you can wear this one with a t-shirt, but for me personally, it just screams of class, luxury, smells like money, that whole ordeal. So, great for a professional setting in my opinion. Great for any time that you're going to dress to what you would consider a bit more formal than your normal attire. This one really works well in those situations, in my opinion anyways. I don't like it in the highest of heat, but the rest of the year definitely does really well for me. It's an 8 to 10 hour fragrance and longevity on my skin, and it's just the right amount of projection where it's not too loud, it's not too in your face, but it's definitely far from a skin scent. Very warm, resinous, very beautiful aromatic lavender up top. There's really a lot going on. Very complex fragrance. Just a work of art in my opinion. You can always get yourself a bottle down below with a free gift by using the link. Again, that's Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme. Next, there's a whole host of fragrances that can go in an office setting, in a professional environment, in a climate-controlled environment, essentially, from this house. They're pretty much what I would consider the house when it comes to soapy fragrances, especially from designers. This one's going to be PRADA Amber Pour Homme. A soapy classic. It's got a beautiful myrrh note in here that adds a little bit of a dark resinous quality to it, but a beautiful fragrance nonetheless. Here, a lot of the fragrances from the Luna Rossa line could have went as well as the Prada L'Homme line, but personally I think when it comes to crisp, clean, and just professional, Prada Amber definitely does that. It smells like a luxurious bar of soap, essentially. There's a little bit of spice here. There's that myrrh for that resinous quality that I was speaking of. But just soapy, clean, fresh, and smells professional. Very inoffensive. Decent performer, not some super long-lasting beast fragrance. Not some super loud in-your-face fragrance either. It really kind of fits that perfect level of projection where when you walk by somebody, in your trail, it could definitely grab their attention, but it's not one to where if you're standing there having a conversation a few feet away from somebody or sitting across from somebody at a desk, they're necessarily going to get punched in the nose by your scent. If they do happen to catch an aroma, it will be very light, just enough to maybe pull them in and make them ask a little bit more about the scent you're wearing, but definitely not something that's really loud, obnoxious, and in your face. Great for a climate-controlled environment. And that's Prada Amber Pour Homme, a classic at this point. So those of you that have been watching the channel for a long time, you know I love ambroxan-based fragrances, DIOR Sauvages, Prada Luna Rossa Carbon, stuff like that. Those are a bit on the loud side. I would say something a little bit more office appropriate would be something along the lines of Coach for Men, the original. Whereas this is going to achieve a similar effect of DIOR Sauvage and Prada Luna Rossa Carbon. A little bit fresher. Has a beautiful suede on the dry down. This one's a little bit more salty, but not so in your face as DIOR Sauvage and Prada Luna Rossa Carbon. Those tend to project pretty heavy off of me. I don't know about you. And in the first hour to hour and a half, this one's getting out there, don't get me wrong, but it's not room filling. It's not a massive trail. It's about arm's length type of stuff. So if you get to the office about 30 minutes after you spray this or get to your workplace, it'll start to calm down a little bit. you'll have a nice aroma, a little scent bubble following you, and as your day progresses, it'll obviously get closer to your skin. This one's not so loud and in your face, yet still does pretty much the same job, where it's extremely mass appealing. It's a very easy to wear fragrance that a lot of people are going to really like the way you smell. I mean, there's a chance that somebody's not going to like the way it smells on you. That's all part of the game with fragrances. But for the most part, you're going to be hard-pressed to find somebody that, if they smell you, they're most likely not going to say you stink. This is a pretty good fragrance, in my opinion, and one that you can get very cheap at this stage from discounters. Very versatile fragrance. Again, that's Coach for Men, the original. So really, any of the three concentrations of this fragrance would work in a climate-controlled environment, office setting, workplace, but my personal favorite, as a lot of you know, is definitely the Parfum in the Bleu de Chanel line. Bleu de Chanel is a workplace classic. It's a must-have in most men's fragrance wardrobe because it's so versatile, so mass appealing, so clean and professional, especially when it comes to the Parfum. It's beautiful. It's warm, it's woody, it's zesty. It's not really loud, but it's very clean and professional. Definitely the most professional of the three, in my opinion, where most people are going to lean to the eau de parfum for that nice balance between the EDT and the Parfum. I totally get that and I understand that. My personal choice is always the Parfum. I don't even bother getting the other two because I like this one so much. When I want Bleu de Chanel, I want to wear the Parfum. And it's definitely very long lasting on my skin. It does have an intimate type of projection to where it's a nice mild little aura and bubble around you for many, many hours, at least in my experience. And it's perfect for the workplace, especially for a professional setting where you're wearing a sports jacket or a suit and tie to work every day. Shines in those environments, in my opinion. Great year round, especially if you're going to be in the climate controlled environment for most of your day. It doesn't matter if it's in Houston and it's heat index of 116 outside. This will be totally fine in those settings. Again, it's Bleu de Chanel, the Parfum. Underrated, underappreciated, Givenchy gentlemen only. One that it just doesn't get any love. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's an understated masterpiece for a suit and tie. A lot of the times that I've worn this fragrance was with a suit. It's a little fruity. It's got a beautiful incense note. Very versatile. Very clean. Has a little bit of a soapy quality to it for a little while in the opening. It's just a really nice fragrance. All the love goes to the iris-based fragrances from Givenchy in the gentleman and gentleman only lines. Well, mainly the gentleman line has the iris note. But this is really an understated beauty for a climate-controlled environment, for a workplace, for a professional setting. Decent performer, 6 to 7 hour fragrance. Nothing extreme, but nothing on the weak side either. Right in that average to slightly above average range in longevity. Nothing real heavy in projection, right in that average projection range. It's the right amount of performance for the workplace. It's clean and professional, but still having a little bit of a twist. Like I said, it has that beautiful incense note. It's a little bit different from your run-of-the-mill work fragrance while still being very safe at the same time. Very inoffensive, very clean and classy. Doesn't get enough love out there. Givenchy gentlemen only. Now a few of these next ones, we're going to jump the quality up quite a bit. And if you like a good fougere, a very fresh citrus dominated fougere, one that I suggest that works year round, signature scent worthy. If you're looking to spend a few extra dollars and really up your game, I would say is ROJA Parfums Danger Parfum Cologne. This is a gorgeous, versatile, niche fragrance. Okay, this is going to work on your days off, casual with your t-shirts, all the way up to black tie formal if you need to go that route to a banquet or something along those lines. Beautiful, beautifully done fragrance that it's understated how classy this actually is. It's clean, it's versatile, it's still an herbaceous and slightly spicy fougere at its heart and dry down. There's a lot of woods here to give it some extra character in its base. It's a lovely fragrance. It really is. It doesn't get as much love as your Elysiums and Creation Ease and such from its own line. But this is probably the most versatile fragrance from the Parfum Cologne collection from ROJA Parfums, with Scandal being the spiciest, Creation E being the booziest, Elysium being the freshest. Of course, you have your vetiver fragrance. This is the do-it-all in the line, in my opinion. Danger and Red are interesting for the scent profile because I don't find it to be a dangerous or risky scent. I actually find it to be a very safe, pleasing, and versatile fragrance that you should definitely give a try. If you're looking to up your game and get out of that realm of designers and looking for that one do-it-all type of niche fragrance, this can definitely be it for you. And if you're looking to get it a few dollars off retail, get a nice discount on it, there's always a link to Venba Fragrances below in my video descriptions. Again, that's Danger Parfum Cologne. This is from ROJA Parfums. Crisp, clean, quality, professional, grassy vetiver. There's a lot of good things I could say about this fragrance to explain to you just how versatile and just how office appropriate this is. It's very professional. This is another one where you're stepping your game up in quality. If you want to spend a few extra dollars, I suggest checking out Argos pour Homme. This is a very, very lovely, clean, crisp, professional, and versatile fragrance for the office, for on the go, on your days off. It's just beautiful. There's some lovely citruses up top, and this is a very clean, soapy, grassy vetiver. As a lot of you know that have been watching me for a little while, I'm not a huge fan of vetiver. Only certain vetiver-dominated fragrances really work for me. And I'm not saying this is completely a vetiver fragrance through and through, but the vetiver definitely shines in this one, and it's very clean and soapy. Not earthy, not smoky, not dirty in any way. If you know anything about Argos fragrances, they use the utmost highest qualities in their oils. They source them from all over the world, and the quality is second to none. Triumph of Bacchus being one of my personal favorites, Baccio Immortale. They make beautiful, lovely fragrances with gorgeous bottles, high quality, beast mode level performers, which this one definitely is. It's not too loud in your face, but it's definitely all day and then some. This is a 10+ hour fragrance on my skin. One that I urge you, if you haven't tried it yet, you can always get a carded sample or carded sample pack and try the entire house from the link in my description with 10% off. And if you're ready to get a bottle and you're looking for the most versatile from the house, it's definitely Argos Pour Homme. You won't be disappointed with this one. If you're looking for a do-it-all that just reeks of quality, check out Argos Pour Homme. Surprisingly, we haven't talked about Iris yet, and because I already featured from the House of Prada, obviously I'm not going to be featuring the Prada L'Homme line here, because when it comes down to just one, I get it. Prada L'Homme has been deemed one of the kings of the office. I get it. But to be completely honest with you, when I think professional setting and I think Iris, there's one particular fragrance that comes to mind first and is my first reach when I want an Iris fragrance for the office. It's the original DIOR Homme. And let me explain to you why, because I've said this before and I will repeat it back to you now, that I believe this is the most balanced designer Iris fragrance out there. It's one that if you can get older bottles of it, get older bottles of it. If you have to get the newer style that says DIOR Homme Original, which this one just says DIOR Homme, does not say DIOR Homme Original. The newer style says Original. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same or if it's been reformulated. I can't confirm nor deny because I haven't tried it, because I have this big old 5.1 ounce bottle. But man, when it comes to modern professional man, this smells like a modern professional man. This is an assertive, confident guy who knows what he wants, does not hesitate to go put in the work and make it happen. That's the kind of guy that's going to wear DIOR Homme to the office. The other flankers in the line are fantastic, don't get me wrong, but this is definitely the most balanced. It's not super in your face, but it's still very long lasting. It's clean, it's professional without being too serious. It's just the right amount of balance, like I said, of that waxy iris, the leather, the freshness up top, and the sweetness. It's just a perfect balance through and through. There's not too much of anything. One that you should check out if you haven't yet. That's the original DIOR Homme. So you like crisp, clean, a little spicy, nice and fresh, something with a vintage vibe, just much classier, higher quality. You're an old soul, essentially. You're not really into those modern ambroxan and blue type of fragrances. You want something classy and masculine and manly. Well, Creed's got a fragrance for that. It's called Viking. It essentially smells like a niche version of Old Spice. It's not identical, but it's going to give you that feeling of Old Spice, just on a, like I said, much higher quality scale. Definitely performs night and day over an Old Spice, trust me. The pink pepper, the mint, very beautiful up top in this one. It's got that clean, slightly herbal, fresh appeal up top. A little sweet, a little spicy, very aromatic. It's got that old school barbershop aftershave type of feel with a lot more character to it. This is understated how good this fragrance is. I understand there's the Cologne flanker coming out. I don't know how well that's going to be because this isn't a heavy fragrance. I understood Aventus and Aventus Cologne. That kind of made sense, whereas this makes a little bit less sense. I'll have to sample that one to give you my full thoughts on it because the original is just so good in my opinion. It's not an overstated fragrance. It's very professional and it's very high quality. I get about 8 hours of longevity on my skin. It's not a beast, but it's definitely above average in longevity, but it's not a real loud scent. It's a more intimate type of projection. It's a mild type of bubble around you to where it's not out there annoying people. It's not out there really pushing and in your face. It's perfect for the workplace, perfect in a professional setting or any climate controlled environment, from a department store job all the way up to a cubicle job to, you know, you're the man running the show with the corner office with the glass walls. It works in all of those settings for all of those positions for you. I think it's a great fragrance. I think it needs to get more love. Definitely sample it. It's not cheap. But again, that's Creed Viking. Now, a few of you may have been wondering where this fragrance was at because I know I have recently stated how, in my opinion, this is the king of the office, and I stand by that. You know, if I had to pick one particular fragrance to do it all in a climate-controlled environment, whether you work, like I said, whether you work at a department store on up to the corner office with the glass walls, I'm thinking Versace Pour Homme, also known as Versace Signature, is that one fragrance. It's the most bargain-friendly fragrance on this list besides Coach for Men, and it smells great. Super inoffensive, fresh citrus, soapy neroli, not real loud, not super long lasting, in that average range of longevity. I've had some people tell me they get above average longevity where they're getting into that 8-hour range. I get more in that 6 to 7 hour range. Nothing spectacular, even down to 5 hours depending on if it's a really hot day and I'm outside a lot. Might only get 5 hours, but this is gorgeous. This is super inoffensive. This is soapy clean fresh. I highly doubt you'll wear this to work and find somebody that'll tell you you're not smelling good if they can smell you, because they're going to have to get within a few feet when you walk by to really smell you. This is another one that's not loud, not in your face, but definitely does the trick. In my opinion, not PRADA L'Homme, but Versace Pour Homme is the king of the office if I had to just pick one. And I love PRADA L'Homme. I love PRADA L'Homme Low. I love PRADA L'Homme Intense. But for this situation and these settings, you cannot go wrong, and it is very, very hard to beat with Versace Pour Homme. Well, that's my 10 picks. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. What do you like wearing to work? Obviously, these fragrances can apply to an outdoor 12-hour shift type of job as well. I would probably go with a little bit louder fragrance that's got a little bit more density in those situations. These are more for the climate-controlled environment. Like I said, not necessarily just an office setting, but climate-controlled environment where you're indoors for most of your workday. These would be my top 10 picks. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these fragrances and you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.